So when we last left our hero, he was stranded in Tulsa with a flat tire. The next morning, I got up and got on the internet and found a tire repair shop in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma that was open on Sunday. So I called Tesla back and they sent a tow truck to pick up my car. He picked me up at the hotel, which was the first time I'd ever exited by way of a tow truck. The tow truck operator was a delightful young man, and I asked him how long he'd been doing this. It turned out he had been a police officer in California for 6 years before moving to Oklahoma.
So joining as a police officer, I've always helped out a lot of people in different scenarios, but with all the hatred and all the police defunding and stuff that's been going on, we just don't get appreciated as much as we used to. And so now I do this towing that still helps out people. And so doing this and helping people that are in need is my biggest passion, and that's what I strive to do every day.
Good for you. You're helping me.
Yes, thank you.
If there's a silver lining here, it's that David is continuing to get his college degree in criminal justice, and he still wants to pursue that field as soon as things get back to normal. It can't come soon enough for me. So after dropping off my car, I walked next door to have some brunch and use the internet. And when I walked back, I saw my car being backed out of the service bay. The service advisor told me the car was all set and I was ready to go. I asked how much I owed. He said, no charge. I said, you're kidding. He said, nope, we don't charge to repair flat tires. Well, I did manage to persuade him to take a little tip for himself and for the guys that worked on the tire, because I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't found them. My flat tire plus my detour to Louisiana have set my schedule back a bit. So today is a little more driving than normal, as I have to be in Albuquerque on Tuesday to pick up Ann. I decided to bypass Tulsa, which you can see in the background, with the Arkansas River in the foreground. Well, let's have a look around. Coming into Oklahoma City now, heading to the Oklahoma City Supercharger in a few miles. Should arrive with about a 11% state of charge. Heading to the Oklahoma City Supercharger. Should be in the back of this restaurant here. Yep, there we go. I met a young lawyer from Waco who had just picked up a brand new Model 3 in Kansas City and was on his first road trip. I thought I had a nice interview with him, but it turned out I pressed the photo button rather than the video button. Notice the white card in his hand. I've met a lot of interesting people at the Tesla Superchargers, such as the black couple who were from Las Vegas and were taking a cross-country trip from Vegas to Florida, back to Vegas, all in 5 days. Unfortunately, they didn't want to be videoed, and I get that. So I made up this card before I left North Carolina, and I started giving it to people that I wanted to photograph, and I've had a 100% success ratio since then because they know who I am, and they're kind of intrigued with the idea, and they are able to look at the video when I get it edited and posted. You can tell I've been fascinated with these big wind turbines. Oklahoma is right in the middle of America's wind corridor, and I guess from the old song Oklahoma, you know the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Well, Oklahoma, turns out, generates close to 40% of their electricity by wind, And I've read that it has the capacity to generate up to 1/3 of America's electricity needs. Whoops, I almost missed it. We're coming into Texas. The supercharger is located behind this visitor information center, which is very clever. It's actually an old gasoline station that's been made into a Route 66 museum. There's an interesting old wrecker as part of the tourist site. I'm glad it didn't show up to tow in my Tesla. And then right next door was a parking lot, and there was this tractor trailer full of hay. Now that's a lot of hay, folks. I'll probably have more to say about Route 66 in the future. It's an iconic road stretching from Chicago to Santa Monica. Okay, enough about Shamrock, Texas, and my supercharger stop. On to Amarillo. My plan was to have dinner at the Big Texan Steak Ranch, which has quite a bit of notoriety apparently because there was a 30-minute line to get in. The shtick is that you are challenged to eat a 72-ounce steak along with a side of shrimp, roll, baked potato, and if you do, your meal is free. If you don't, the cost is something close to $100, I believe. They have a number of arcade games and a bar to keep you occupied while you wait. While waiting, I talked to one frequent customer who told a story about a man who was going to prison the next day, and he was there with his girlfriend, acting tough, but could not finish that 72-ounce steak. The day I was there, they had two winners, one of whom was a lady weighing 140 pounds who finished it off in 49 minutes.